everyone. So, I wasn't going to bring astrology in here, but we have so many things going on this week, and for the next couple of weeks that it just seemed better to do it. So, welcome everyone, because this is all about forward movement, growth, and clarity, and you know I'm about that. So, if I can bring that to you, yep, that's what I'm doing. So, welcome everyone. My name is Cindy. I am the modern day spiritual advisor. I use multiple modalities, including tarot, astrology, hypnotherapy, and mediumship, spiritual advising to help you on your path. And now the author of my upcoming book series, Concepts Create Reality. So before I get on with the spread, we have like these big aspects again. I mean, we already had like this lunar and the solar eclipse, but we've got, because the planets are always moving, but we've got like Mars moving, we've got Mercury going direct, and we have this big full moon in Pisces. So I wanted to talk a little bit about that. So let's talk about Mars movement. So Mars is going to move into Virgo, and it'll be there for about 6 weeks, which means wherever Mars was on your chart is now moving into a different house, right? So you're going to have movement, and you know, Mars is about energy, and Mars gives you that oomph. And I mean, a lot of people like to talk about Mars being war, but Mars is about giving you all that energy and that like oomph to do things, and that inspiration and that drive and that ambition to do things, right? So with it going into Virgo, it's going to make you like, because Virgo likes to organize and put their efforts into what's going to be, I don't know, worth their time, I guess. So, like, they're going to get gains out of it, right? So, with Mars going into Virgo, that's what you're going to be thinking, or that's the way you're going to be feeling. Like, I'm going to put effort in if it's worth it to me, if it's going to bring me gains. And that's okay. I mean, you should do that, right? Sometimes we need to do that. But it's going to be in different houses for different signs. So I'm going to go over that in each sign. But then we have Mercury going direct. And Mercury is going, it's moving to that, and it's going direct or station. So it'll be, so I'm sorry, Mars you'll feel for about 6 weeks. Mercury you're going to feel for about a week and a half. And it's going direct right on the point where we had the solar eclipse, right on that point. So it's like oomph. It's like a lot of all these things that have been delayed, and this miscommunication, and these things that you have been like working through, tweaking on. If you've been doing the work, like when it goes direct, it's just going to all of a sudden give you resolution to those things, right? So and it'll give you, so all these delays, it'll give you with your everyday that lower, I mean, I call it the conscious mind, but some people call it the lower mind. You know, there's the subconscious and the conscious mind. So all of that will start getting resolved. Those things, those things of where Mercury was like retrograde in your house, it's going to go direct, and those things are going to start resolving. Even if you've put a little work into it, if you've been tweaking, like I said, to do during retrograde, you're going to feel like the difference where all of a sudden things just start moving forward, right? And so you'll feel the effects of that for like a week and a half, week and a half. And then you have Mars going into, you know, the next house, which is probably going into the house where your Mercury was retrograde for each one of you, or each one of us. And so you're getting like all this forced forward movement, right? Now, the other thing too is this full moon in Pisces. So what does that mean? So Pisces already is like a very intuitive, psychic, hidden realm kind of thing, and with this full moon, which is new beginnings, right? It's also got Neptune in there. So the full moon is on Pisces, and then it has Neptune. So wherever that falls in your house, you're talking about like miracles and manifestations and magical stuff coming to you without any effort. Like, this stuff is already going to be given to you. This is on your path. So depending on which house it is, you should start like getting these things coming from nowhere, like coming from the air. Like all of a sudden you get these things, right? So it kind of depends on which house it falls in for you. But the Pisces is about connecting to your higher self and connecting to spirit, connecting to oneness. The only thing is when you get this full moon stuff, it has to come from your heart. Now, when I say your heart, there's a lot of people that love from their second chakra. Now, and I'm talking about your fourth chakra, for it to come from your fourth chakra. Now, I haven't talked a lot about chakras here, but, I'll do that on my website. The second chakra, when you love from the second chakra, that's about attachment and greed and fear and loss. Like when you're loving somebody from fear because you're afraid that you're going to lose them, or because when you love somebody because you're like, well, they're mine. That's attachment. That's second chakra love. I'm talking about anything that you do in this full moon. If it's from your fourth chakra, if it's from unconditional love, it is just going to blossom. It has to come from your heart if you get inspired to do these things, okay? Because if it comes from the other, then there's going to be ramifications. Unfortunately, this is how we decided to live on this earth, with duality, okay? So, but the great thing is this full moon is just going to be bringing all these things in different people's houses. So, on to I hope I explained everything for each sign. I'm going to do each house, and I'll explain the houses and then how you'll be able to receive them, and then we'll do the love area. So, see you in a minute. All right, my beautiful Virgos, here we go. So, let's talk about these houses first. This is really interesting for you guys. So you have Mars, and so Mars was in your 6th or 7th. The full moon is going to be in your 7th, house. And then Mercury is in your, it was retrograde in your 6th and 7th. It's like cusped a little bit. So we could be talking about both houses, but I think it's mainly your 7th house for a lot of you. And you could still be like in right at the edge of your 6th house, and it could be affecting your 7th house. So let's talk about this full moon in Pisces in the 7th house. So I'm going to explain the 7th house. The 7th house is a really, really interesting house. Yes, for me, it's a very interesting house. So the 7th house is about learning boundaries, and about learning relationships, and about learning how to deal with relationships of all kinds, okay? So in the 7th house, this is where we learn our boundaries. This is where we learn where we're going to compromise. This is where we learn how we want to be treated. This is that house, okay? So the interesting thing about this house is you never know until someone comes in front of you or comes into your life and mirrors you. That's the 7th house. So when people come into your life, or things or situations come into your life, they're mirroring you in this house, because you're trying to learn and grow your soul from this and say, how do I want to experience this? What am I willing to compromise? What am I wanting to learn and grow my soul from in these people that come into my life, in these relationships, in these situations, in these things? Because we have relationships with things too. Okay, so all of this is in your 7th house. So you have this full moon in your 7th house, and Neptune is in there as well. Full moon in Pisces, and then Neptune is in there as well. So in this house, because it's about relationships, because it's about boundaries, because it's about growing your soul in that way, with Pisces in there, Pisces has that connection between the inner worlds and with your higher self and your higher consciousness, or the universe, or spirit, or it has connection to all of it, okay? So with the full moon being there, you could be more intuitive and psychic in your relationships. Like maybe you didn't see a situation the right way, or no, I won't say right because I don't like right and wrong. Maybe you didn't see a situation clearly, and then this full moon comes, and you'll be experiencing, you'll be seeing, so you'll feel the energy of the full moon for like 2 weeks, right? So maybe all of a sudden you weren't seeing this situation correctly, and then the full moon comes and you get this intuition, this knowing of, oh, that's why this is happening, or this is why I have this in my life, or this is why this person came into my life, or this was the situation that I needed to work with, right? That's kind of what the full moon in Pisces in your 7th house is going to be about, okay? So It could come through like just your intuition, just your clairs. If you have clair, I mean, everybody has clairs. I don't know if all of you know your clairs. I know Virgos are pretty. So let me just say this. If you found me on YouTube or anywhere, then you're advanced. You just have to remember some of the tools in your advancement, right? So everybody's psychic, everybody's intuitive, but if you don't know what clairs are, they're like the things that we call of the sixth sense. So they say the sixth sense is like one thing, but it's not. It has several things in the sixth sense. So clairsentient, clairaudient. So like if you have an inner hearing or an inner knowing or an inner sight, then those are your clairs. Okay. Which reminds me, you can go to Your Indigo Path, my original channel, and I have teachings on there. So I'll put the link down below. I'll remember to do that. So anyway, if you have these clairs in your daily life, in your waking life, and you've developed them and you're using them, then you may like those may get even stronger. So you'll start getting intuitions about these relationships and these things and these situations through your clairs. Okay, now, if your clair or your intuition is like, I usually get it through dreams, then you're going to get a lot of dreams, and they're going to be very profound. And so I think you know the difference. I'm pretty sure you know the difference between like a psychological dream where your conscious mind and your subconscious mind are trying to like filter and figure out what it is, and then there's those dreams where you have your loved ones or your higher self, or they're very prominent, they're very psychic, like they feel different, right? So you're going to have those types of dreams too. Those types of dreams are going to be coming to you because remember, Pisces is there and Neptune is there, and that connection is stronger. So that veil is thinner. Okay. So, and it's going to give you, clarity in your relationships. That's what's going on with this full moon in Pisces for you in the 7th house. Now, with Mercury going direct, which it went direct yesterday, so you're feeling this for like 10 days to 2 weeks, right? So Mercury was retrograde in either your 6th house or your 7th house. So let me go, for those of you that have it in the 6th house, I'll go over the 6th house with you. So the 6th house is I serve, and it is ruled by you, Virgo. So it's about your health, your work, your self-service, service to others, sorry, your skills, your mentoring. Your aunts and uncles can be in here, your routine and daily health. This has so this house prepares you for relationships. And if you're working in the 6th house, the 6th house sort of prepares you for these relationships in your 7th house. Okay. So it sort of helps that 7th house. So you're like tweaking in the 6th house and learning in the 6th house. And so if Mercury is retrograde in your 6th house for you, then you may have had delays and things may have gone not the way that you wanted, and things just weren't going through, and any of that stuff. And again, if it was cussed, you could have like the effects of Mercury retrograde in your 6th and 7th. So maybe your relationships weren't going forward, maybe you were getting stuck, maybe things weren't happening, and all of that. Well, when it's retrograde, when it goes direct, all those things start resolving. Your health issues start getting resolutions. Your daily work gets resolutions. Maybe you had some issues with your aunts and uncles. Those get resolutions, and they don't all come at once. You get it over the next 2 weeks. Maybe your skills, maybe you were having a problem finding a mentor, and now it's like opening up. Any of that is going to get resolved. It's just going to get resolved over these next 2 weeks. Okay. So if you've been sort of working and tweaking on that, you should get a little bit ease in that. All right. So for Mars is going into your 6th or 7th. So it's like there too. I'm sorry. So, well, no, I did mention the 7th. If you had retrograde in 7th, then relationships weren't going forward. But any of that, if it's in your 7th house, then it's getting resolved. It's getting easier, and it should be moving forward. So it's going to start moving forward, and you'll get resolutions. But then Mars comes in and gives you that kick, that energy, that ambition, that drive, that not just the clarity that Pisces is going to give you, or the full moon's going to give you, and not just the clarity that Mercury is going to give you, but you're going to have the energy of Mars behind it. And that's for 6 weeks that it's going to be there. So all of a sudden, you'll feel like, some of you will feel empowered. You'll feel empowered. You'll feel like, yes, I know what to do. I know how to do this. And you're like, I'm going to do this, right? That's how you may start feeling. And also, you'll get anything that you do, or anything that you've been working on, or anything physical, will become tangible. So you'll get these manifestations, because remember, when Pisces is in there also, or Pisces full moon in your seventh house, they're going to be bringing you gifts from nowhere. It's going to like fall in your lap, no energy needed. This was on your path to begin with. This is the way that you wanted to experience it. So it was already supposed to be brought to you. That's what you wanted for this house. So you may get these relationships. You may get these, and remember, my understanding is we have relationships with everything. So tangible things. You may be getting this house that you're wanting. You may be getting this car you're wanting. You may be getting this love that you're wanting. You may be getting this family that you're wanting. These are tangible things that are coming to you from the full moon in Pisces and the Mars energy helping you. Okay, so also, if you have new ideas, if it comes from your heart, like I said in the intro, it will become tangible and it will move forth with Mars. Okay. The one thing that I will caution you is that with Mars having so much energy in this house, and it's like it's activating this house. So you could get really anxious, and I know you Virgos are really anxious. You have to like learn to center yourself, not to be so anxious, because you try to control everything. Not all of you, but you know, it kind of depends on the phase of your life. But this can cause more stress and anxiety. So you need to like really learn to work with this Mars in this house and center yourself and let go control, and understand that the universe, God, source, oneness, your angels, your loved ones, and your higher self, they all know where you're going, and you got to trust them to do what they need to do, what you've asked them to do, to bring the stuff to you. Okay, so that's the one thing I caution when you have this Mars going in there, is that you can get really anxious and really stressful because you're trying to control everything. And this is not about control. This is about your boundaries. This is about learning relationships. This is about learning to engage. This is about learning to compromise. Okay, so that's the only thing I caution you with. All right, so let's get on to the love reading for September 2017. Now, for those of you that have never seen me, love is the energy for me that moves through all vibrations. Okay, so I could be talking about your romantic love, or if your love is in your businesses, or if your love is in your family, or if your love is in yourself. Like, I could be talking about that. And it could be more than one thing that I'm talking about, but you'll know because it'll resonate with you. You'll know because it'll feel like, oh yeah, this is it, right? That's how you'll know. Now, in your first position, this is the Palace of Swords. And I will have the link below if you want to purchase this deck. This deck is called the Tarot of Dreams. And I have an affiliate link. So the Palace of Swords is a state of mind. So this is all mental. The Palace of Swords is someone that can have the state of mind where they get such clarity and they think outside the box, and then they're like, I know what I know, but because I know. I may not be able to consciously know that I know, but I know, right? It's like all of a sudden all these things come together for you. That's where you're at right now. That's your first position, right? So you're in your head. You're thinking about relationships. You're thinking about your loved one. You're thinking about a potential loved one. You're like thinking, all right, so I kind of feel like some of you are trying to manifest. Yeah, I'm getting that feeling where y'all are like, all right, this is what I want. Now, let me see if I can manifest this, right? That's what I'm kind of feeling like you're like going over that, all right? So, oh, that's interesting because this is what's crossing you. So what's crossing you, this is Spirit's advice in this situation. So they're saying, their advice is, there is someone, and some of you will be dealing with this in this next month. The advice in this is, when you're thinking about this mental state, and when you're trying to figure all this out, and when you're trying to manifest, and when you're thinking about your new loved one or potential loved one, or your longtime love, or your family, or your friends, or whatever this is, your businesses, your hopes and dreams, all of that. When you're thinking about that, understand the bonding between you and that person, you and that situation, you and that thing, okay? That you know each other physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. So they want you to connect on all levels with this thing that you're manifesting for some of you, and for others of you, this person that you're trying to manifest, or this relationship that you're trying to manifest, okay? Now, that's their advice in here, is that not only do you have to mentally connect to that thing or person or situation, but you have to connect emotionally and spiritually and physically. So like, there's a way to do this where you're, and I'm not teaching the manifestation here, but there's a way to do this where you're connected completely to that thing or person or loved one. It's not just mental, it's not just emotional, and it's not just like on the physical level or spiritual level. It's all of it. So I think that's what they're trying to advise you to help you manifest this. I feel like a lot of you are manifesting. Okay, so in your third position, this is where you came from. Where you came from was the Seven of Wands. So you were standing up for yourself. Good for you. You were like putting out fires too. So I feel like you were like, I do feel like this. Some of you were like, I've had enough. Done, 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 done. Like, that's what I'm feeling. I'm feeling good for you. Good for you. So I'm feeling like you got, oh my God, I have that cussing guide that's here. I have a feeling that you were like, you know, I've had enough of this BS and I'm not putting up with that anymore. And this is what I want, this is what I'm gonna get, and this is what I'm standing for. Not because I'm greedy, not because I'm mean, not because my ego is out of balance, but because I'm gonna get what I want because it was on my path anyway. Because I want this thing, this person, this situation, this loved one, right? So doing that, you stood up for yourself and you said, this is what I want. And then you were able to really tell people, and I feel like this is a lot of like people that you were telling, or friends or family or whatever, really standing up and saying, this is who I am and this is what I want. And you can either go with me or not, but I'm standing here. I'm finally standing to my truth. That's what I'm feeling with this card. So that got some clarity in your life, and you came to this point where now you're thinking, all right, where am I going to go next? How do I manifest this thing? What do I need to do? And then their advice is connect with it on all levels, not just the one level, on all levels. Okay. I will say this, because this is not for everyone, but this is for some. If you are trying to manifest a particular person, that is a different thing than manifesting the relationship. Because although in your higher self you can do all of it, here on this earth, in this lifetime, we have what's called the laws of the universe. And we also have free will. So though that person may be kind of on your line, they have a choice just as much as you have a choice whether to be in this relationship. So if it's really the relationship you're trying to manifest and not the person you're trying to manifest, that's an easier way to bring it to you. Okay. And then they have the choice, that particular person, whether they want to agree to it or not. But if you're trying to manifest a specific person, that is not fourth chakra love. That is second chakra love. That is your ego saying, no, I'm going to have this because I want this, because that person is mine. That's second chakra. That's attachment. That's fear. That's greed, right? If you want, if you really, truly, if you listen to your heart and you listen and you say, you know what, I just want to be happy. I want somebody that's going to be beside me. I want somebody that's going to have integrity and be full of love, not somebody that I have to chase, not somebody that I have to make mine. If you really listen to your heart, you're trying to find the experience in the relationships, right? Not that specific person. You just think it's that specific person because they've shown you one side of them, not another. So really think about and feel, like they've said, if it's really the relationship, then draw the relationship to you, not the person. Because listen, you can draw the person and they can come in and then they can make the choice to be with you, and then later they'll make the choice not to be with you. Like that could happen. Or they can come in and be with you and be with you throughout your lifetime. It just kind of depends. But the easier way to do it is to have the actual, think about the relationship that you're wanting and then have that come in. Okay? Because that other way is your ego. And there's consequences. We live in duality. We have free will. That's consequences that we have to deal with, right? Now, in your fourth position, this is the first 2 weeks of September. You have the Five of Cups. So I kind of feel maybe this is why I was talking about this, because some of you are looking at what someone's done. How come you're alone? How come these things haven't come through? How come I'm always like not getting what I want? Like you're thinking about what you don't have, or what people have done to you, or you know, how much you're lacking, or how much someone else is lacking, or how someone's disappointed you, or how these things disappointed you, or how life is just not fair, and how the universe doesn't like you, and blah, you know, all of that stuff you're thinking. And this is putting you in this vibration, and Spirit's asking you to look at this. And the fastest, best way that I tell all my clients to get, the best way to get into a different, more evolved, or what you guys call higher vibration, is to start with appreciation. Start with appreciation. Start with how much you have here, right now, in your moment. How much you appreciate the things and the people and situations and the relationships around you that you do have. And when you do that, your heart starts opening and you start coming from that. And that raises your vibration. So they're trying to remind you to think about what you have. Appreciate what you have. So that because they're trying to get you to this vibration and get you out of this vibration. Because some of you are going to try to manifest this person. Some of you have a specific person in mind. You're going to manifest this person in this vibration, and they're going to come, because I said love moves all. Love, that love vibration can go through all frequencies, and you're going to manifest in this vibration, and this is not the vibration you're wanting. You're wanting this vibration, because this vibration is where they come in, and it's a different thing, and it's like a whole bunch of other stuff going on. Okay, I can't explain all of it, because I'm not going to teach manifestation here, but I will start doing it on my website. Actually, it's just better if I do it there, because I can say and do what I want on my website. All right, so from your higher self, this is your fifth position. Your higher self, I always ask, what is the one message they want to bring through to help you move forward in love? And their answer is the Five of Coins. And the Five of Coins is about you, or one, coming from a place of need and scarcity instead of coming from a place of abundance. And that can be in your love relationships, in your life relationships, in your family relationships, in your friendship relationships, coming from a place of need instead of a place of abundance. Okay, and so they want you to take a look at this. Now, I see this another way, because some of you have given so much, and it was just taken, and it was just taken, and it was just taken, because you guys are like, remember, you're Virgo. Virgo is all about service to others, right? And so they've taken and they've taken and they've taken and they've taken, and then you didn't get replenished. And now you're in a place of need, because so much has been taken from you, and you're depleted, and you're trying to find that place. And they're bringing me back to this. Start with what you have, and just start there. Just start thinking about how much you appreciate the things and people around you that are here. Okay? Because they're trying to get you to a better vibration. You absolutely can have what you want. You just have to get to that frequency. Okay? And they want you to know that you are not scarcity. You are not need. You are abundant. You are beautiful. You are love. Okay? For others of you, because of this house that's being worked on, the seventh house, you were having to go through this so that you understood boundaries, so that you understood compromise, so that you understood that you can just keep giving and you can just keep giving and that's your way, and then it depletes you. Or you can learn boundaries and you can say, you know what? I love myself as much as I love the whole, and I am just as important as the whole. And I say this to a lot of people who do this, especially, you know, people that are, you know, in the metaphysics community or the, you know, science community or whatever, clients. You can love so much and keep serving and keep serving and keep serving because you're trying to help the whole, right? Because, you know, people in the community can say, oh, I'm giving and I'm giving and I'm giving. Well, you can keep giving because you're trying to heal and you're trying to help and you're trying to heal and you're trying to give to the whole. But if you're not giving to yourself, then it doesn't matter how much you give to them. You're part of the whole and you're not helping yourself. So therefore, the whole will never be healed. Does that make sense? Until you do it in balance, give yourself and give the whole. Then we're talking about healing from both sides. That's healing the whole because you're part of the whole. Make sense? Now, in your sixth position, at the latter 2 weeks of September, you have the Tower. And I know the Tower scares some of you, but sometimes the Tower is needed because maybe you were building, and then at some point you had to use cheaper material. And in using cheaper material, they wear out faster, right? And it's not a solid foundation. So what I'm saying is, in your life, in your love life, in your purposes, in your businesses, in your family, in all of that, you may have a solid foundation, but at some point you begin to not notice, or you begin to not put that work in, or you begin to try to see it in another way, and you used not the regular material that you once used. Make sense? I'm making an analogy, but I hope everybody's getting it. So the Tower is about having to break down those things so that you can build a solid building, not just the foundation, but the building. Now, if you didn't build a solid foundation to begin with, well, it's got to all come crumbling down, okay? And though that may not feel good, it is going to be the best in your life because it's the way that you wanted to do it, okay? And it kind of depends. Some of you are in, you know, because some Virgos that will be watching will be in their teens, some will be in their 20s, some will be in their 30s, some will be in their 40s. So, you know, if you're in your 40s and your building is here, your foundation's here, all this was good, then it's only this part that's going to be broken or coming down. If you're in your teens and you have no solid foundation, then it's got to start again. If you're in your 20s, if you're in your 30s, it's kind of different for everybody, okay? But it's so that when you learn this lesson and when you grow your soul, you know how you want to do it. And you know that you're not going to take any chances. You're going to do it the solid way so that it doesn't come crumbling down, so that you do have a solid foundation to build from. Okay? So that's what you'll be dealing with. You have some changes coming in your life at the latter 2 weeks of September. And some of you, it's not going to feel good. But others of you, you're going to be like, oh yeah, I got this. I got this. That was just a little tweak. I got it. I feel that for some of you, okay? So, and this could be that relationship, because some of you, I feel like you're being stubborn and you want the specific person. And that may be what this Tower is about. For others, I feel like you're the way you're dealing with your family or your friends, it's like, no, it's got to be this way. And it really should be a way of both of you, or you and your family members, or you and your friends. It's got to be both, okay? Yeah, that's what I'm feeling. All right, so you'll be dealing with that the second half. Now, in your seventh position, this is your fear. You have the Five of Wands. So the Five of Wands is all about like struggling and fighting and like, ugh. And so your fear is, will I always have to do that? Will I always have to like have a struggle? And for others of you, I see it this way too. It's like, will that time ever come where I am so truly passionate about something? Because there was once a time in my past where all I did was had so much passion and thought about it, and it was manifesting, right? And so I see that those both ways. But remember, for whatever way this is, a fear is there to remind you of what you want and what you don't want. Okay? You know you don't want that. So focus on what you want. Focus on what's yours. Focus on what you can have. Focus, and you can have anything. You're a powerful, powerful being. You can have anything. Being an earth sign, you can manifest anything physically. You do it through hard work. There is an easier way to do it. That's why Pisces is here to help you in that full moon. But get to this space, okay? Focus on what you want, not what you don't have. That's just a GPS to show you where you want to go, okay? Now, in your 8th position, this is the way a loved one will be dealing with you or viewing you. If you're dealing in a relationship, or if you have a certain someone that's come in, or when you have a certain someone that's come in, this is karmic. This is a 50-50 card. This means in the romantic area, you have lessons that you wanted to learn with each other. And then after you learn the lessons, it's a 50-50 shot for both of you, whether you want to stay in the relationship or go. Okay? So this person, if it's brand new, they will view you and deal with you in this way because they have this feeling that they've known you before, and so do you when you meet this person. For others of you that are dealing with the relationship, it's karmic. So they're going to be seeing you that way, like, I want to go, but I can't go because the lesson's not over. Or, you know, I mean, they may not voice it that way, but they were like, I want to go, but I can't go for some reason. And that's because the lesson's not done, right? So that's how they'll be dealing with you and viewing you in the month of September. Now, in your 9th position, this is your hopes and dreams, but for me, this is your outer realm of the energy that you're bringing into your physicalness. You have the 7 of coins, so you're almost there, Virgos, where you're almost at a state. And remember, this is like your fear. Will it ever get easier? Will I ever be able to, you know, all of that, right? And this is here to say, that's right on your outer realm. It's like trying to come in. This is a space where you have already nourished this tree, and it has such good roots. And this person can be you and is you, who is at the stage of their life and relationships and phase in life where they can enjoy the fruits of their labor because they put so much hard work in. Okay? So think about that. That's in your outer realm. That's coming in. Allow it to come in. Some of you need to do this first for it to come in. Some of you need to get to this space for it to come in. And some of you need to get out of this for it to come in. Okay? Yeah, and definitely this. Not a place of scarcity, a place of abundance. Okay? A place in balance. Now, your overall outcome, what you'll be dealing with in the month of September, you have the Queen of Wands. So some of you do have a loved one coming in. This person is gorgeous, male or female, because the Queen to me, it does not say male or female to me. The Queen to me means that they have the characteristics of these signs, which means they are very passionate. Their heart is open and available. They have such excitement for life and drive and ambition, and they know how to compartmentalize. So they know when to have fun and they know how when to be serious. And when they want something, they don't stop. But this person has their heart open. They are ready and available to show you love, to open that heart with you. Okay? So congratulations to some of you. Depending on if this is where you're at, this person will come in, because to me, it's also king or queen, which means they've already been through all the BS in their life. Like, not all of it, but they've already been through the stuff that most of us have to go through, right? They're already ready. They've worked hard to get to this space to meet you, and they're ready to have a relationship, okay? For others of you, if you have a long-time relationship, or if you have somebody that you've been with for a while, it looks like you'll be having, I see this two ways, passionate times, but it could be like, you know, that fire sign, they can get angry. So it's like a lot of passion, it's like a lot of drive, it's a lot of ambition, and it's like a lot of forced, like, expanded energy. So Depending on the situation, you could be like having a really, really good time with these people all month, and you're like, wow, I haven't seen this kind of vigor in my partner in a while. What is up? And it's just because they're in a space where they want you, where they're like, I'm not going to take advantage of this. I love this person and I want my life with them. I started my life with them. I've had my life with them and I want to keep going with them, right? Some people just get to that space sometimes, depending on where their path is, right? So, for others of you, this could be you, the way that you're dealing with things. And I'm feeling like you could be a little stubborn, but I'm also feeling like you can make things happen if you have enough drive and ambition, but it comes from your heart, your fourth chakra heart, okay? That means you won't fail, because fire signs never fail at something that they want to do. They just have to want to do it, all right? And with it being a king or a queen, definitely they get what they want. Okay? And they know how to, they're almost Leo in this way, where Leo is that fire that's like at the campsite, because it's like controlled and it knows what to do and it has its purpose. That's this person, okay? So my gorgeous ones, I hope I helped. I'm sending you so much love and light. I will talk to you soon. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Bye.